What's up guys, my name's Joe and today I'm going to be bringing you two different slick back hair tutorials. My hair is finally long enough to be able to do something like this and actually pull it off well. So I want to show you guys two different hairstyles. The process is very similar, the products, everything is pretty much the same. It's just up at the end. It's the way that you choose to wear the hairstyle. You can either go super classic with it or you can go a little bit more casual with it and kind of, ruffle it around. Like I said though, hair length, this is the most important factor if you're wanting to do something similar. So if you see right now, my hair is to my lips. I can put it in my mouth. So I would say it's about 6 inches, maybe, just a little bit over 6. I've seen so many people be like, I can't do this hairstyle. 90% of the time it's because your hair is not long enough. If you're considering this hairstyle, at least 4 inches, depending on your hair type. For me, 4 inches would still be pretty poofy and not really a slick back. Once I start hitting 5 inches, and especially now while I've got my 6 inches of hair length, this is now when it's really gonna start working out. Anyways, start off with damp hair. Y'all know the drill. How many times do I have to say it? Probably I don't have to say it at all, but you start off with damp hair. Now, if you're going for something like this hairstyle, slickness and smoothness and softness is key. So what I do is I start with Original by BluMaan, which is the staple. You guys know it by now. Original by BluMaan for that lightweight control to make sure I've got everything going in the right direction. But on top of that, I've been using some kind of hair cream. I like switching it up a little bit, but the ones that I've been sticking with predominantly with at the moment is the Maplin hair cream. I have talked about this cream before, along with a bunch of other products that you've probably not heard of. If you've missed that video, you can check it out right up here. But this helps to just add a little bit of that softness and that sleeking factor that's really gonna pay off for a slick back hairstyle. So I just take a little bit, rub that in on top of Original by BluMaan, and we're ready to start the blow dry process. First of all, take your vented brush. If you don't have a vented brush by now, you need to go and pick one up, all right? Got it linked down below. I'm slicking everything back just to make sure that it's going in the right direction, but more importantly, to make sure that the product is evenly distributed. And now it's time to start blow drying. You'd think it's a pretty straightforward process. You're going for a slick back, blow dry everything backwards. And while that is true, it's gonna depend on your hair types as well. For me, since my hair grows from my right to my left, I do wanna make sure that I'm slicking it back with the blow dryer. So as soon as I comb it back, on the right side of my head, I am making sure that I just keep pulling that back with the vented brush and the blow dryer. And once I make sure that this is dried down and I feel like it's stuck in place, I just continue this process across my head, but I kind of skip the middle of my head and go to the left side and start slicking that back as well. So basically I've made sure that the right side is slicked back, now I'm making sure that the left side is slicked back, and I'll hit the middle once I'm finished with this. After that, I'm just gonna keep combing everything back. Notice I'm using the vented brush pretty much this entire time. It just makes sure that I'm grabbing every hair follicle on my head and pulling it back. Like I said, since my hair does grow from the right to my left, I also like to blow dry my hair in the opposite direction because this actually helps to straighten it out. By blow drying it in the opposite direction, I'm telling it, you're not allowed to go the way that you want to go. You have to go this new direction, and that just helps to straighten my hair out, even that much more. Once your hair is about 70 to 80% dry, you can just go crazy with the blow dryer. This is what I do just to make sure that I get everything dried down. So I'm focusing on the back and kind of towards the middle, just ruffling everything up to make sure that all of my hair is dry. At this point, everything is dried down, and you may notice that my hair is going in a backwards direction, but it's not exactly straight. And this is gonna come down to you. For me, for the demonstration of this video, I wanted my hair to be pretty straight, so I got a hair straightener involved. If you don't want to do that, where your hair is already naturally straight, you can skip this step. If you do, however, want to use a straightener and you want to pick one up, I've got those linked down below as well. So what I do when it comes to the blow dryer is I basically start on my fringe first and I'll work my way back eventually. I usually start on the left side because that's the side that's easiest to use and I don't need to get a comb involved or a brush. I just make sure to grab chunks and straighten it out. I'm not trying to be too specific, just get as much straightened as possible. As I work over to the right side, I'll get my vented brush involved and just pull that up. It just helps me grab the amount of hair that I need to grab easier with the straightener. And then I'll work my way back, just trying to cover as much hair as possible. At this point, you can see that I've eliminated most of the waves that I had after I finished blow drying. Everything is pretty much straight, and it's time to throw in some product. I've really been enjoying showing you guys the pomade recently. It's actually been my go-to product as my hair has been getting longer. I've been actually using the Fit Sample pomade by BluMaan more than pretty much any other product in our line, aside from Original, which I use as a pre-styler pretty much all the time. But since I am wanting to go for a more slick back look, I'm gonna be generous with the amount that I take. So I'm taking a pretty big fingertip full worth of pomade. Emulsify that down and start applying. When you're going for something like a slick back, you wanna make sure all of your hair is covered with product, so it's all gonna be slicked back. So just take your time, make sure you get that product really rubbed in there. Now, as for the first of the two slick back hairstyles, I'm gonna be taking my vented brush and just running that through. This is gonna start forming a, that classic slick back look, but also continue to distribute that product throughout evenly. And as you can see from just using the vented brush, I've already got pretty much a classic hairstyle. You could stop here if you wanted, but I'm gonna show you guys just an even more tight hairstyle by switching over to a comb. If you're looking to pick up a comb, I would always suggest one that has the wide teeth like this and the narrow teeth so that you can switch back and forth, especially if you're going for the narrow teeth, which really creates that sharp looking classic hairstyle. You wanna start out with the wide teeth just to get that hair in place. Otherwise, this might be a bit too tuggy and pulley for your hair. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm starting with the wide teeth to make sure that I slick back all of my hair in place and I have it all going in the right direction. Then I'm gonna change over to the narrow teeth side just to really get it tight, get that hairstyle tight and sharp as possible. There's no specific technique with this combing. You kind of just have to work at it until your hair looks good. This is gonna be a little bit different for everyone who's doing this hairstyle, but just don't be afraid to comb it over and over and over again until it looks good. Now, as for the second classic hairstyle, this couldn't be easier, and it's probably gonna be the one that guys go to a little bit more because it's just more simple and it's a little bit more modern. And that's just taking your fingers and pretending that your fingers are a comb. Run your fingers through your hair and just create that casual looking, modern slick back. Exactly what I've done here today. And you just gotta work at it with your fingers until it's still going in that backwards direction. It can still be considered a slick back, but it's got some movement with those fingers. It's not so detailed or sharp because we're not using a comb here. This is a great option for just day-to-day living, basically. However, I would say because most pomades do have some shine in them, you still wanna make sure that your hairstyle is pretty tight, not too loose, because I never like a shiny hairstyle that it just looks kind of all over the place, because then it looks dirty. You don't want a dirty looking hairstyle. You want it to still look on purpose and in place and neat, just a little disheveled because you used your fingers. And just like that, guys, that is two different ways to wear the classic / modern slick back. I think both options are great if you've got the right amount of hair. Try it out, something different. I highly recommend checking out Fifth Sample Styling Mask Pomade by BluMaan if you haven't yet. It's a fantastic, extremely versatile pomade. And I'll have that link down below as well. Everything is down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see everybody next time.